Join me right now on Kumite TV is surging featherweight destroyer Shane Burgos. What's going on, Shane?
Not much, man. Thanks for having me.
No doubt, man. Man, you're coming off the biggest win of your career so far against Cub Swanson. Was there anything that you proved to yourself? You proved a lot to others, but to yourself in that victory.
Yeah, 100%. That's a great question. I proved to myself what I knew all along, but I never really got a chance to prove it because I didn't have the opponent. But I proved that I am one of the best by fighting and beating Cub Swanson.
If you could critique your performance, what did you not like about the performance after you watched it again?
Overall, yeah, I mean, I'm happy with it, but overall, I'd give myself like a B plus. There's definitely a lot of stuff that I feel like I could have worked more at. And I mean, I feel like if I really pushed it, I could have got the finish. And I pride myself in being a finisher. So I'm a little disappointed that I didn't get the finish. But overall, like I said, B plus.
I talked to Cub before his recent fight against Kron, and he was talking about how he respected you after that fight. What does it mean for you to get that respect? Because it doesn't always come that way after you beat
Yeah,
your opponent.
yeah, that's awesome to hear. I didn't hear that, so I got to go back and listen to that interview. That's really cool to hear because I've been watching that dude since I was like 15 years old, man. Like I met him at the UFC first fan expo when he was just walking around. Nobody really knew who he was either, and he was fighting WC, and I was like, wow, Cub Swanson. I was like, what's up? Can I get a picture of him, man? I was 17 years old at the time, so that's pretty cool.
You outstruck a striker, especially a veteran like Cub. What does that do for your confidence overall in your striking abilities?
I always knew I was a great striker. I think it just proved that I am one of the best strikers in the division. I really do believe that. I truly believe that.
You said after that fight, you wanted to come back in around August, September. Was there anything that delayed your return?
No, I had a vacation at the end of August. I wanted to come back a little bit before that, so that was the only time slot that I couldn't go fight. But then I went in September, and then they were like, you're just getting back from vacation, so I'm gonna just wait a little bit longer. And I was like, you know what, November 2nd, right there, MSG. So I was like, I'll take it.
You're sitting at 28 years old, six fights
Yeah.
deep into your UFC career. Are you in your prime, or are you just scratching the surface of your potential right now?
I truly believe I'm just scratching the surface. I feel like I made leaps and bounds of improvement since my Cub fight. Like that, the past however many months that was, I feel like I've gotten so much better in that short window of time. So I feel like I'm literally just scratching the surface, and the sky's the limit for me.
What did you focus on in that 6 months of time that you had off to allow yourself to develop? What did you focus on? What did you work on? Could you give us some details?
Yeah, getting better everywhere. Like I'm obsessed with not just being good in one spot, but being good everywhere, defensively, offensively, wrestling, offense, wrestling, defense, jiu-jitsu, offensive defense. Uh, you can't be a one-dimensional fighter in this sport. And I work my weaknesses just as hard as I work my strengths. So I just really focused on just getting good everywhere.
MSG, like you mentioned, UFC 244, one of the biggest cards of the
Yeah.
year. Makwan Amirkhani is your opponent. What are your thoughts on him and the skill set he brings to the octagon?
It's a solid opponent. I think it's going to be a fun fight. I think he's going to be trying to take me down most of the fight. I think I'm going to obviously be keeping me on the feet. So it's one of those striker versus grappler kind of fights. But I got really good takedown defense, and I'm not too bad off my back. If you watch my first couple amateur fights, I used to pull guard. So I'm not going to stress over his strengths too much. Obviously, I'm going to focus on my own strengths and keep his in the back of my mind. Keep him well, not in the back of my mind, but right there, just so I know what he's going to try to do. But I'm not going to. I don't like to obsess over my opponent's strengths like some people do, and then they end up taking away from their own strengths. So like, I'm just going to try to take me down. Don't throw anything crazy because you might try to catch a kick and focus on your strengths and keep his strengths aware.
Getting into training for this fight, for this opponent, did you add anything new to your schedule to allow you to elevate yourself?
I wouldn't say anything new. I've been the last two fights. I really kicked up cardio a ton. I'm in phenomenal shape. Like I have a new strength and conditioning coach that I've been working with for a little over a year now. Literally down the road from my house, so works out. He's a great guy, one of my best friends now. Elite athletic training, and Tiger Shulman's. Those are my two teams right there, and I've just been killing it with them.
Who are the coaches that you focus with primarily at Tiger Schulman's? Because everybody knows
Yeah,
Tiger Schulman, but the other
he,
coaches on the they don't really get the love. Give him some love, man.
he's our head coach, Tiger Shulman, but then it's also his brother Ron Shulman, who's like right under him, and then we have our boxing coach who's again like right under him. So the three of them are basically the three masterminds. Ray Velez is his name, by the way, the boxing coach.
Yeah.
That's my man. Yeah, we really see him in the corner. He's hilarious. He keeps the mood light on fight week. He's fun to be around.
Amirkhani, he's a guy that likes to play head games during fight week. Do you enjoy an opponent that kind of talks trash to you to sell that fight for you a little bit?
I've only had really like I'd say Pepe was the only fight that I really had that was kind of like that, where he was like, I'm in the hotel and trying to mug me, and I was like, it's not. I mean, I didn't know how I would react to it, but actually, I freaking thrived in it. When he got my face to the weigh-ins, I was like, oh, this is fun. This made my blood like I was amped. I was ready to go right then and there. So I guess yeah, I liked it, and it made beating him up even more fun, honestly. So if he tries to do that, cool. If he doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, I mean, if he's my friend or if he's not, I got to go in there and I got to provide for my family. So I'm going to take him out, whether he's a dick or a cool guy.
With this guy, Amir Khani, he's a name. He's a prospect. He's a guy coming up. You beat him. Where do you see yourself in the division? Do you see yourself, taking a fight at the end of this year or early next year? What do you see?
Since it's November, it'll probably be early next year if I had to guess. But yeah, I'm definitely expecting someone in the top 15 after this one. But I'm not sleeping on this guy. This is not an easy fight. I mean, when you fight in the UFC, isn't an easy fight. I mean, a lot of people are telling me like, oh, what? Like, why'd you take this fight to lose? I'm like, it's not a lose-lose. It's a lose-lose if you had that in your mind. But I'm looking at it like I'm gonna go in there and try to make a statement off this guy. I'm not just trying to look for a win, look for a paycheck. I want to make a statement and let everybody know that I'm here.
I think it's pretty clear what this matchup is all about. It's about who's going to become the next guy to step into the top 15. If Amir Khani
Exactly.
goes in there and does his job, he's the next guy, right?
Yeah, numbers don't mean shit. I mean, the rankings do muddy the water a lot because, yeah, I expected a number next to my opponent's name, and I got a little bit obsessed, like looking at the top 15, like, who am I going to get? Who am I going to get? And then I got him, and I was like, oh, I wasn't really expecting that. But it doesn't matter. We're fighters, and we're all in the UFC. We're all good.
UFC 245 in early December. I'm pretty sure you got your eye on this fight, Max Holloway versus Alex Volkanovski. What is your breakdown of the fight, and do you have a prediction?
That's a great fight. It's a fun fight. I'm gonna have to go with Max though. Max is just the dude. He's huge, man. He really is big. And Volkanovski's not the biggest 145. I know he walks around heavy, but height wise, I think Max is gonna be able to keep him away, keep his distance. I think Volkanovski's obviously gonna try to close the distance, like he did with Aldo, keep him against the fence, make it more of a lulling fight, try to tire his arms out and look for the finish towards the end. But I'm gonna have to go with Max. I'm gonna say Max. Volkanovski's super tough. So I'm gonna go Max by decision.
Beside yourself, who else do you see being able to take out Max? Because he is a kind of a tough puzzle to solve.
That's a great question. I gotta look at the top 10 again. I like the Cater versus Magomed Sharipov fight. I like the winner of that fighting him maybe, or the Zombie versus Ortega fight. Ortega already fought him. It was a little bit over a year ago. I would like to see Zombie fight him because Zombie's one of those. He's awkward. He's a weird kind of fighter. Like he does crazy stuff. It's hard, man. Max is really freaking good, and he's got cardio for days. He's got great length, great combinations. I would like to see Zombie fight him, and I would like to see the winner of Cater versus Zabit fight him too.
Speaking of the Zombie, maybe you might have to stay in shape in December because if one of those guys fall out, that's a main event right there. You could hop in and get yourself a quick paycheck right there, a big fight.
My thoughts exactly. I'll get paid. I'm down. I'm down.
Yeah, man. Well, one last thing before I let you go, there's many different types of competitors in mixed martial arts. Do you consider yourself at this point in your career a martial artist or a prize fighter?
I'd say both. I started out this game just for the love of it. I didn't want to. In the back of my mind, I wanted to be a fighter, but I was like, I can't do that, man. It's crazy. But started out I loved it. I fell in love with it for my first class. But now I got a family. I got to provide for them. So yeah, I definitely consider myself a prize fighter, martial artist and a prize fighter. So I'm answering both.
All right, man. November 2nd, UFC 244, MSG, New York City.
Yeah. 2 weeks.
Your home grounds. Man, thanks, Shane, for the time. Good luck on the fight, and your future is bright, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a good one, all right? Have a good night.